my friends. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you're new to my channel, hey, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing. And if you are back, welcome back. I am here today to join you all for my weekly WIP and Chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and Chat stands for chat. So feel free to whip out your WIP and work alongside me. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting kit and just catching up with you guys about what's been going on this week and whatnot. And would love for you to join me and let me know in the comments how your week has been as well. So let me give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to be working on and using tonight. So I'll link to all these shops in the description box below, which, by the way, I'm getting a lot of questions lately from people that I think are maybe newer to YouTube, maybe coming over for drills and chills and whatnot, about how to get to the description box. And I just wanted to point out for those of you that might not be sure, which is totally fine, we all start somewhere, that the description box, like if you're on like a regular web browser, it's like just below the title of the video. Like under the video itself, there's like the title of the video and then the number of views, and like the date it was posted, and just under that should be the word more. And if you click on the word more, the full description box should pop up. On mobile, I think it's pretty similar. I actually think on mobile it's maybe easier to find that button or a little more intuitive, but I hope that helps a little bit. But yeah, so just wanted to mention that because I've been getting that question a lot lately, and yeah, so I'm going to be working on the kit Astronomical Witch from Mary's Diamonds, and I am not quite halfway done, but we're going to get there. Adam is making noise over in the corner, which is fine. WIP and Chats are totally casual, just kick back and hang out. I am going to be using some tools from New to Me shops, some goodies from my most recent small shop haul, which will have gone up yesterday if you guys watch the day that this goes up, and some new goodies that came in from shops that are old familiars and favorites of mine. So first, let me show you pens. This pen is from Artful Acrylics on Facebook, and for the life of me in that video yesterday, I could not get this to show up the way that I wanted to. It's a stained glass effect, and I feel like with the white background you can see it a little bit better. Maybe my lighting is better too, but it's super pretty. My first pen from Artful Acrylics. And then I have a few different tools actually from Panda's Crafty Content. This pen, which has these gorgeous rose gold flakes in the middle that also really don't necessarily want to show up and do this at all justice, but I actually really love this, the effect of kind of like cracks of resin in the wood. It's so pretty. Also from Panda's Crafty Content, I have a resin tray that they made with my logo on it, and this is a minder, you guys. It's also it's a little resin tray that I can use to collect trash drills if I need to. This canvas hasn't had a lot of trash drills, but that's okay. I think this is really freaking adorable anyway. So this is resin as well. And then this minder is from, I believe, Galloway's Gallery. Little witchy kitty. And then this tray I just got in yesterday. It's the Painted Paradise colorway from Muni Made. And it's one of the magic colors, and it's truly, truly magical. I'll be using Patty Wax in Polyjuice Potion scent. This is actually one of my favorite scents that she does. I've had the same brick for like 2 years. And then Adam is drinking a soda or a pop, depending on your region, or a Coke if you live in Texas, even though it's a Diet Pepsi. And then Randa's Crafty Corner sent in Churro for her scented putty. I just got this in yesterday. Like I said, this I've had for 2 years, but I was like, I need to pull out a Halloween scent. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to kind of freely switch around between different tools and whatnot. I'll try to remember to actually swap between things because I don't always, but I'm gonna try and show lots of shops and whatnot, lots of love. So I'll start with this resin tray and with this pen, but I'm gonna swap out the tip for one of my metal tips. Let's see if I'm gonna need to add any extra. Yeah, that does kind of spin a lot. Oh, I should have grabbed my squishy to try with this. I told Jacqueline that I would. So my friend Jacqueline was like both laughing and felt really bad for me after, if you watched last week's WIP and Chat, you would have seen me try this trick that someone had posted about in Diamonds and Emeralds, and Jacqueline had told me about, but I just could not get it to work for me in the video last week. And Jacqueline was like, you did everything right. I have no idea why it didn't work. So maybe because it was a single placer, or maybe like it just, okay, we need a little more washi tape, or maybe it just was something, I was like, I think it might have been something about how the hole was drilled maybe. So she's like, I'm so sorry. I felt so bad because I saw you struggling. I'm like, it's fine. I try to keep it pretty real around here, as you guys hopefully know by this point, but I guess you couldn't really see me. I just wrapped some washi around that. That should, yes, sometimes it sticks out the top, but that really wants to spin a lot. You know what? Where's that plastic one? Maybe we'll just work with plastic today. Yeah, we're going to stick with the plastic. The other thing is that these metal placers, I've talked about this before. There's a couple of different kinds of these thin metal multi-placers you can get. This is the ones that have their rubber bands on the end. Come on, camera. Do me no favors here. The ones that have the little round rubber bands on the end, I feel like are more likely to spin and have issues. Then there's some metal multi-placers that have a similar thing. Man, my camera is not loving it today. Have these like lines on them instead, like the plastic ones do. And those don't tend to have as many problems. So we are just gonna live the plastic multi-placer life this video. You guys, 6 minutes in, haven't even placed a diamond yet. We're still loading up the stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and start talking to you. So how are you guys doing? First of all, I hope that your week is off to a wonderful start so far. It is rainy here in Southern California, which is a full-on novelty, quite frankly. That's more putty than I'm gonna need, because I feel like the last time it rained here was like literal months ago. It just doesn't rain. Hello, droughts are so great. Where are my tweezers? I'm wearing nails. I can't really get this in here the way that I want to. We've had rain the past couple of days because we're seeing some of the effects of the hurricane. But we had such a stifling heat wave for a while that I am very, very thankful to have it broken by some rain and some clouds. Yeah, it's been nice to have that weather actually. This kit, let me tell you a little bit more about like this kit and how my projects at the moment are going. So this kit is, I'm really enjoying working on. Like I said, it's this Astronomical Witch. I unboxed this on my channel a little while back. Mary's Diamonds actually sent it over as part of one of their new artist releases or new collection releases. I think in August. Maybe it was, no, it might have been July. I might have done the unboxing at the beginning of August. But I knew right away that I wanted to work on this one for Drills and Chills. But I have a lot of witchy kits in my stash. And I was like, I really want to like kind of alternate a bit between like my witchy kits and my non-witchy kits, so it's not just all witchy kits back to back. So I just finished After the Rain and thought, okay, now I'll work on a witchy kit and then I'll go to one that's not as witchy. You can see this brick has seen a lot of love, but still does the job. If I could scrape it okay. I wonder if I should like take a knife and try to oops, smack my camera apparently, or phone apparently, and try to like scrape some of that excess off to make it flat so it's easier to scrape again. But yeah, I hadn't worked on a Mary's Diamonds kit since I think the beginning of this year. I worked on one, but I'm having a nice time working on this one. You know what though I haven't tried is one of their square kits. It's been quite a while since I've worked on one of Mary's Diamonds squares. Actually, have I ever worked on a Mary's Diamonds square? I should order one to try. I should really order one to try. And I'm looking forward to trying out these accessories, some new to me accessories. Okay. This is a ceramic pen. There's like just a little pokey on the end. Yeah, there you can see against my palm. I've never had problems with it cutting through the canvas, and I tend to push kind of hard, but yeah, that's what I do. Let's get started. So, all right. Our waxes handy, and our little minder set up here. Hold on just a sec. I've got everything else set and forgot to do my minder. Come on, kitty. There we go. You can't see him, but little Pusheen kitty is up there. All right, let's pick a color and we'll get started. Okay, one complaint though that I have about this kit is that this symbol right here, this sigma down here, or there, I guess you can see a little bit better. That symbol is a little bit too big. I'm gonna let them know that I think that they should try to adjust that because I am discovering that in some areas of the canvas where I'm placing these white diamonds, it's, even if I try to place them perfectly, I feel like the symbol is almost just a bit too big. Like you can still kind of see the symbol around the diamonds, but we will see if we can prevent that. Anyway, so we are going full tilt in all things drills and chills, of course. I might say it every week, but I'm not making it up when I say that I continue to be just blown away by the response. I put up the week 1 video on Thursday of last week, so less than a week ago. I put up the week 1 video, and there have already been, last time I looked, it was over 600 comments on that video, which actually blows my mind. I don't know that I have to go back and look. I don't think I ever had that many entries, like comments on my weekly videos. So, yeah, that was fun. That's been fun to try to keep up with. If you're not sure what Drills and Chills is and you want to go find out more, I'll link to the playlist. It is a diamond painting event that I am currently hosting and having an absolute blast with. And the week 1 video went up, and week 2 will go up this Thursday. So, yay! I don't know if you guys can really hear, but patty wax, this isn't even patty wax super sticky, this is just regular patty wax. Has a nice popping effect. So satisfying. It's like ASMR. What kinds of waxes or putties do you prefer? I have ones that I tend to reach for and go back to, mostly because I've worked with them for a long time. You know, companies that have been around for quite a while and whatnot. But I'm always trying to really like rotate through different tools and accessories, especially weather dependent. There have been a couple of newer products that I tried in the summer months that I would really like to try again in the winter months to see if I have a different experience with them, because we don't have central air. We have like a high-powered wall unit in our upstairs that does a decent job of cooling our home, but where I film is actually at our kitchen table, which is kind of far from the actual AC unit, and so it's kind of warm. And I find that especially during the summer months that a lot of waxes and putties just don't work as well. So especially if putty is like real stringy and almost melty or gooey, I find like, okay, I probably should just try this again during cooler weather and see. I've seen some people suggest tricks like putting it in the freezer to kind of help set it before you use it, which is honestly, that's not a bad idea, but I still feel like it's like, for me, it's not super practical. Like I'm not always going to remember to like put stuff in the freezer. Also, my youngest child likes to occasionally open up the freezer and rummage through it. And I'm like, oh, well, that just popped right out. I'm like, well, now I know why my electric bill is so high with this kiddo getting in and out of my fridge and freezer all the time. That's one way to try to cool my house, I guess. But yeah, so it's neat to see the different products that people are coming up with and creating and offering, and I'm here for it. The more the merrier. Because a lot of us, well, all of us have different styles of diamond painting. Like if you're a hard presser, if you're a light presser, I find that even how you pick up the drills can differ. Like I always pick up my drills at like a bit of an angle. Like I almost never, you can't even see me with my tray right now. I basically never pick up my drills like straight up and down. I'm always picking them up at an angle. So what works for me as far as waxes or putties that I use in my single and multi-placer. Even though it works for me, it might not work for you. So that's why I'm like, the more the merrier, because then we're more likely to find stuff that works for us. So make sure that these are all going to come out okay. This happens sometimes with resin trays where drills will just kind of get stuck. Is that a mosquito or a gnat? So if it's a mosquito, I'm going to pause this and take it out, because I have been waking up with mosquito bites in the morning. So have the kids. And so I'm like, darn it, there's definitely a mosquito or two that got into our house, and no thank you. That's a little gnat. Okay. Oops. Whew. Hot mess of a WIP and Chat. Okay. Come on, drills. This is a really pretty tray though. And the drills lined up okay. They just, sometimes that happens with resin trays where drills will want to get stuck when you try to pour them out. Let's grab our next color. I think we need this AB. One thing that I do wish that Mary's Diamonds did a little bit differently, or with a little more intentionality, is their ABs. I feel like their AB placement is sometimes a bit off. Let me see, come on. Like they just kind of, I don't know. It doesn't seem quite as intentional to me with the AB placement. So I'm kind of like, I would be curious to see them do a little bit different things with their ABs. Anyway, we were talking about lots of different things. So drills and chills, general updates. So my first kit is complete, like I mentioned, after the ring is complete. And you guys, I don't know what it is. I've been getting, and this is fine. I want to make sure this is super clear. Because I always bring this up and then people are always like, oh no, it's okay. Like, don't feel bad. Don't take it to heart. Like, let me just say up front, I'm not upset. I'm not hurt at all. Like, seriously, I'm not. But I always get lots of comments, and it's been a lot more lately, maybe because I'm getting some new friends and viewers and followers on Instagram and here. I always get lots of comments about, wow, you diamond paint so fast. You know, how do you do it? How do you find the time? And, you know, especially when people know that, like, I am a mom and, you know, I have a husband and all of that. And I was like, oh, how do you do it? I have no idea how you diamond paint so fast. And then often I'll even just get questions that are just people that are very genuinely, sincerely just asking for like tips and tricks. Now, I will say that every once in a while, I do get just a tiny bit of a complex. And don't worry, you don't have to reassure me. It's fine. I know that it's just a little passing thought in my head, and it doesn't mean anything. Every once in a while, I do get a tiny bit of a complex where I'm like, oh, are they trying to imply that I neglect my children and my husband, and that, ooh, yep, that happened. I'm so klutzy, you guys. Are they trying to imply that I like neglect everything and I just sit and diamond paint all day without doing anything else? Well, I do prefer to diamond paint over doing chores, but no. My kids are always my top priority. And my husband too. Like, I've been very deliberate about like carving out time, especially like after our kids go to bed and we can just hang out and like watch shows and chat and all that. And like, but no, I don't like doing chores. I'd much rather diamond paint. But what I often tell people, like if they genuinely ask like, okay, but for real, how do you do it? There are a few different things. So when I am a stay-at-home mom, I kind of struggle to like define if this like sort of counts as a job at this point. I don't like, I've gotten to a point where I start to wonder like, what do I write on forms when it asks like, who's your employer? I can just write none, or like, should I write self-employed? Is this kind of like a gig? I don't ever want to honestly view it that way as much as I can avoid it, because I'm afraid that that'll take out some of the joy for me. Some of the other things that are really key are that I actually completely adore everything about this hobby. It is my one main hobby. I spend a lot of time doing it, especially as a stay-at-home mom. Like, I am able to just have a diamond painting out on my kitchen table, and I might sit down and just diamond paint for literally like 2 minutes. and then I'm off doing something else with my kids. Sometimes if they're super chill, maybe I'll diamond paint for half an hour. And it's sitting there, and I kind of come back to it. And obviously, like, I put it up and stuff for meals and whatnot. But it's kind of always just sitting out. And I'll grab a few minutes here and there. And I multi-place, I guess. I've tried to find ways to sort of be efficient about it. But the other important thing is that it's not a race. Like, the important thing is that you're enjoying the craft. But I also know that it can be frustrating when it feels like a kit's taking forever. But I'm never, like, diamond painting at someone. I'm never, like, trying to rub anyone's nose in it by being like, look at how fast I can diamond paint. No, I really just spend a lot of time on this hobby, and I love it. And so I diamond paint quickly. Sometimes I also want to mention to people, like, did you look at the size of the canvas, though? Like, especially when I posted the finish of After the Rain, there were a lot of people that were like, and even during progress pictures, like, wow, you're really finishing that quickly. And part of me wanted to be like, did you see the size, though? Like, it's only 51 by 61. It's a lot smaller than a lot of landscapes out there. It's just generally a smaller size kit. It's going to be the same thing with this one. Like, this is only a 50 by 50, and it has a little bit of color blocking here and there. Like, this one's going to work up quickly too. And I'm sure people are going to be like, wow, you finished so fast. I'll be like, but did you look at the size, though? And the fact that it has round diamonds, and it had some color blocking, but yeah, so that's just a comment that I'm always like, how should I respond? So I usually just heart and move on, because I think people are they don't mean anything by it. They're just like, wow, like, yeah, I mean, it's my hobby that I enjoy a lot. So yeah, anyway, I already have a couple of potential kits in mind for my next one. I'm leaning heavily towards Hades and Persephone from Die Moon Shop, which was a Margaret Morales kit that I had requested from them, like, requested that they license a while back. Like, when Margaret Morales, like, first put out that artwork, I was immediately like, Die Moon Shop, need. So I think I'm going to work on that one. I also just last night filmed I filmed a really early sneak peek for a Diamond Art Club kit that's that's planned to come out in 2 weeks. And I am hoping that I can work on and hopefully, knock on wood, finish before the actual sneak peek goes up. So I'll be working on that one secretly alongside, like, this kit and whenever I pull out next. And no, I'm not going to give you any hints, but it's a really cool kit. You will see. And then I keep going back and looking at Craftably's website, because after doing my unboxing of some of my pre-orders from them, I was like, oh my gosh, I really, really, really love so much about Craftably's kits. Like, it would be so nice to work on a Halloween kit from them. And I went back and looked, and I've seen a couple of people working on Halloween kits from them, or like witchy or Halloween type themed kits from them. And I was like, man, maybe I should go, like, place another order with Craftably. So that may happen. But I've placed several orders in the past week, actually. I was kind of feeling in a shop-y mood, like a shopaholic mood, and was like, okay, there's a few different diamond painting companies that I've been itching to try out for myself. I've seen friends unbox them, and I've had requests from people to try them out. So I finally went on and placed some orders with 2 or 3 different shops. So I'm really looking forward to those coming in. I'm not sure how long it'll take. Like, maybe it might take a little while, maybe. So we will see. Stay tuned. But it is licensed artwork. And I like the artwork, and I hope that it's, I hope it's rendered well and all of that. So I'm making a mess here. But yeah, I don't know what their turnaround times are going to be shipping wise, so we will just have to wait and be patient. So I mentioned earlier, like, it rained in Southern California, and it's like a whole event when it rains here. But before it rained, we had just an absolute blistering heat wave. It was so exhausting and soul sucking. We holed up inside as much as possible. I felt so bad for the kids, like, going to school, because like the heat just it totally like saps your energy, and they both could come home like real sweaty and stuff, and I'm like, all right, bath time. But it was actually, it always surprises me. It always surprises me how strongly my body reacts to weather, because just yesterday, on Saturday, it sprinkled, it was overcast and cloudy most of the day, and I felt so incredibly energized. I felt so productive. I got a bunch of stuff done around the house. I felt like there was like a weight lifted. I just felt good. And I was like, every year this surprises me when we come out of summer and start moving into cooler months again. And it just sort of reinforced to me that, like, I'm not just being totally dramatic about my reaction to summer and the heat. Literally, like, without me even realizing it until like after the fact, my body just feels different. It was when I realized that I was just going around and tidying up piles that have been staring at me. You know what I mean? Like when there's just like a mess or something that you've gotten almost like clutter blind to it because it's been there for so long, and you're like, I can't take care of it. It's just, I have a mental block about it now. It was when I got to the point where I had folded all the laundry in the house and started tidying up some of those piles that I was like, what is going on with me today? Like, I'm so productive, and I'm like feeling it. Like, I'm feeling energized and feeling like just light and happy and good. And then I realized, I'm like, it's because it's cooled off and it's overcast and cloudy outside, and it just felt so good. So I'm like, whatever the opposite of like seasonal affective disorder is, like, that's what I have. Or I have like seasonal affective disorder, but for summer. I feel like you only ever really hear about it as it really pertains to winter, like people that get, they struggle with depression and like irritability and like difficulty like getting out of the house or being productive, like all those kinds of things. That's like traditional seasonal affective disorder. Is that happens to people in the winter. It's like dark outside, and so they feel like that weight. And no, that's me with summer 100%. So I'm very, very glad that we are moving out of the summer months, though we still have some hot days ahead, because September is always the hottest month of the year here. But I will take the respite that we've had the past couple of days. We actually had a rainbow this evening. Connor was so tickled when I noticed it. And I was like, hey, buddy, come outside with me. I want to show you something really cool. He's like, what is it? I said, there's a rainbow out right now. He's like, oh, really? Because, I mean, he's seen them, like, a couple of times maybe. But, like, we barely get rain. And so there's not exactly a lot of opportunities for rainbows. So I took him outside, and he was so cute about it. He was like, oh, Mommy, I see it. And I was like, oh my heart, this is so cute. And I didn't film it. I was just like, you know, I want to be better about enjoying the moment sometimes and not feeling like I have to capture everything on camera. Even though, like, it's nice when I can capture some of those moments on camera to share with family that lives far away. Speaking of, most of my parents live in the Midwest. I live in Southern California, so they're across the country from us. My brother lives up in Oregon, and originally Adam and I were planning to take the kids back to Ohio this fall. I mentioned it, I'm pretty sure, in last week's WIP and Chat, or another recent one. We're supposed to go next weekend. But literally a month or two ago, the airline we were flying, Southwest, lifted their expiration policy on flight credits. So originally, I'm going back even further, we were supposed to go to Ohio last Christmas, like for the holidays. And then the numbers for you-know-what were too high, so we had to cancel that trip, but we had the flight credit. But then you had to use the flight credit within 12 months of when you purchased. Like, you had to actually, your travel dates had to be within 12 months of when you purchased the original flight. So we had to have our travel done by November, because that's when we actually booked our holiday flights for last year. I know it's really confusing. But then, literally a month ago, Southwest was like, we're getting rid of that policy completely, and your flight credits no longer have any expiration date. And it wasn't actually until my parents mentioned something. They were like, are you guys still thinking you're going to come? Or were you thinking of saving those flight credits to just use these holidays? And I was like, oh, that's a good point from a financial standpoint, and also just from some practical standpoints, because we were going to pull the kids out of school for a few days for this trip. And so it might make more sense to do it the holidays. It also might make sense to do it the holidays because then we could hopefully get to see my brother, who we haven't seen in over a year at this point either. So, and he hasn't seen my kids in a while. So we ended up deciding to go ahead and cancel our trip, which there's absolutely no hard feelings. Like, it was kind of a like, let's talk to everyone involved and let's decide what makes the most sense. Okay, this is what makes the most sense. Okay. And honestly, for me, the idea of traveling, especially, I mean, with Micah in particular, because he is just such an energetic kiddo, and he elopes a lot, which is a term that means kids that kind of, like, if you just kind of get up and walk away from any given situation. It's really common for people that are autistic, like kids specifically. Like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. That's really what it is they'll just kind of wander off, or they'll just kind of like get up and leave. They often, like, especially like when Connor was younger, he struggled with sort of having a sense of like personal safety, even like the idea that like, okay, when you're in public, you should make sure like you're staying close with your parents and stuff. Like, that's sort of an instinct that a lot of neurotypical kids have, and a lot of kids that are autistic or have other like neurodivergencies or differences struggle with. Anyway, that just means that traveling with my youngest can be stressful. So part of me is relieved, but I'm like, I want to see my family. But we did just see my parents like a couple weeks ago. So it's not like, oh no, we're missing out on like seeing them, because we just saw them. But the idea of getting to see my brother is like, that's a huge draw to me. I'm like, I want to see Sean. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan. So now we kind of unexpectedly have next weekend open, and we were going to pull the kids out like for a few days the following week. And now it's like, okay, well, we can just plan to be around. And of course, like, that makes filming a little bit easier, because I was like, okay, I need to make sure I plan ahead, get videos filmed, like especially for drills and chills and like any sneak peeks that I have. I want to make sure that I'm just being smart and planning ahead for all the things. And yeah, so there's a convenience factor here, I suppose, but I am sad about not getting to see fall weather in Ohio, because fall in the Midwest is magical. I was excited about taking the kids apple picking at like the orchard, and just enjoying fall weather in general, like the changing leaves and all those fun associations that I have. I was even like, could we go to like a football game like at my old high school and stuff? Like, it would have been fun, but that's okay. You're not supposed to be there. So, today, Adam and I left the kids with his mom. His mom came up and stayed with the kids. And Adam and I got to go to a screening for a film that he was involved in. If you happened to, oh, there's where all those went. If you happen to have been around my channel for a year or more, I probably mentioned at some point last fall, Adam was, where's my water? I need a little sip real quick, hold on. I probably mentioned that Adam was helping out with a film project on the weekends for most of the fall. And that was like a thing that we had talked through, and it was a really, really neat thing for him to get to be a part of. And we were supposed to be able to go to a screening of it a couple months back, but that's when Adam got, you know what, so we couldn't. And we got very lucky because by popular demand, they ended up scheduling a second screening for people that couldn't make the first one. And that was today, so we got to go, and it was so much fun. It was such a funny film. It's going to start making the circuit in festivals. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about like which ones yet, but it was so fun, especially to get to see kind of the fruits of his work. He worked mostly behind the scenes, though he has a few different cameos in it, which is really funny. Once it kind of goes more like public, I can share it, but it was just hysterical. And yeah, it's a feature-length film, and he's thinking of trying to fly out for one like major film festival in particular that it's going to be in, because he wants to like be supportive, and the writer, director of it and he have become like good friends. So it's been like a good like networking thing, but also it's just neat for him to actually get to be involved in this thing that is like why we moved out to California. Like he has a day job, but also like this is where his passion and his love is. So it was really special for me to get to see that side of him. You know, when you have, whether it's like a friend or a relative or a significant other, that there is just like that thing that really is their wheelhouse, and just it makes them light up and it's just their happy place and their gifting. It's really, really special when you get to see that and like be a part of that. And that's what I felt like I really got to do today. And I don't always get those kinds of opportunities because we have young kiddos. So often like the way that I can be the most supportive is by taking care of the kiddos when Adam is working on those things. And then of course, just like talking to him and about them and stuff when he's home. But this was really, really special, so I'm glad that I got to do it. And it was like a little mini date as well, so bonus points for that. And then we came home after. We were both pretty tired, honestly, because the AC wasn't working in the room where they were doing the screenings. We're like, oh my gosh, we had to go cool off. But yeah, no, it was a good day, and then we had kind of just a quiet evening hanging with the kiddos, though they had a nice time hanging out with their grandma. So lots of this pretty lavender color. I was hoping that we would get up to like this little, I don't know, there's like a little neutron or something on her finger. Maybe I'll skip to that part after we finish this color so we can get to some of that. This artwork is so gorgeous. Really, really enjoying working on this kit. This came with a stopper. Why am I not using it? This tray, I think, definitely benefits from having a stopper. So let's just pop that in there. There we go. What else has been going on? Oh, I did get a headache after, though, which was kind of a bummer. I don't know if it was the heat or I am somewhat sensitive to air pressure headaches, and with the rain, like, it's not shocking that I, maybe had a headache and all, but I'm not as, bless you, I'm not as sensitive as some people are to them, to be honest with you. So that could have been part of it, but, and then we came home and hung out with the kids. They were pretty tired towards the end of the day, even though we didn't do a lot today. Like, they didn't do a lot today. Connor has the sniffles and I don't like it. I'm like, no, we haven't even had a full week of school yet. We haven't even had 5 days in a row yet. And I'm like, are you going to have to stay home tomorrow? No. So, and he was, so he was really tired. He was like, I'm ready to go to bed. Okay, buddy, let's get to bed. So hopefully, I really hope that he's not sick. I really, really hope that he's not sick for his sake and for ours, because, okay, this is completely selfishly motivated. I will own that. You can give me grief. It's fine. But you guys, I have a haircut scheduled for Tuesday, and I haven't had a haircut in over a year and a half. I've got grays showing at my temples. I straightened my hair today for our outing, like, just because I was like, I'll be really feeling myself if I straighten my hair and feel a little more put together. And my hair is so long. Oh my gosh, it's so flipping long. It needs to be cut. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to my haircut on Tuesday. And so if Connor has to stay home from school, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I'll be like, Adam, can you work from home? Because he usually works in the office on Tuesdays. So I'm going to be like, but I want to go get my hair cut. I'm going to feel like 1,000,000 pounds lighter. Should I chop all my hair off? I literally could chop a foot of hair off and it would still go to my shoulders. I love having long hair though, so I'm not going to chop it all off. But I might chop off like 6 inches, I'll ask my hair person, like, hypothetically, how much do you have to cut off to donate? I don't know. I'll have to ask, but... Micah has been absolutely loving school. His teacher sent me some amazing pictures of him on Friday. They did like a thing with different instruments, and Micah was playing the drums, and like, oh my gosh, he was so happy. That kid has the best smile when he is so happy. So he's really loving school, but he's in the early group for his program, and I think we might talk to the teacher. We're planning to talk to the teacher about potentially moving him to the later group. Initially, they had said that like the earlier group was a better fit for like his IEP needs, but he came home from school on Friday, and he like wanted us to like put on a show, which is usually what we do to let him kind of decompress after school, is we like put on a TV show for him, and he can kind of just sit and cool down and decompress a bit. And so we did that, and he was kind of fussing a little bit, and I was kind of like, oh, what's going on here, buddy? And then basically as soon as the show started, he sat down on the couch, and then his head started bobbing and his eyes started wanting to close. And I was like, Adam, because Adam came out like on his like little, he was working from home, but came out like on like a little lunch break to come like hang out with Micah a little bit and give him some attention and love, get some cuddles, because Micah gives really good hugs. And I point out to Adam, like, Adam, look at Micah. And Adam saw him, and Adam like just immediately like scooped him up, and Micah snuggled into Adam and was asleep in seconds, and took like a 20-minute cat nap tops. But that's the second time he's fallen asleep, like right after coming home from school. And like he and Connor both were really hard to get up last Friday morning, like after a full week of, well, not quite full week of school. They were just so tired. Micah especially was really hard to get up that morning. And I just was like, I don't know, like if we're going to be able to keep this early early program. So I kind of want to make it a conversation with the teacher. I want to get a sense for like, okay, but how is he handling it at school? Does he seem fatigued at school? Now that the school year has started, like, how does it look as far as like resources and the program? Like, is it possible? Like, would it still serve like his needs and his goals if we moved him to the later program instead, where he'd be able to wake up a couple hours later, more like what time he was waking up for his preschool program last year. So we'll see. I'm going to try to send her a message, an email tonight that she can maybe get back to me tomorrow. And I don't want to, I swear I'm not trying to be like that parent, but it just, even with trying to bump his bedtime a little bit earlier and stuff, it just doesn't seem to quite work for his circadian rhythm the way that it is. So I just want to talk to her about it. I just want to get her thoughts and see. And Adam is totally in agreement, especially after Micah, like, it's like Micah just absolutely, there was no way he was going to be able to keep his eyes open. It was very sweet, but it was also like, oh man, you're wiped out, dude. But all in all, the transition to back to school has been going okay. It's had its moments, some rough spots here and there, but honestly, I have a tough time with transitions too, so I know where my kids get it from. Hopefully they'll be able to settle after another week or two. That's another good reason that our trip to Ohio fell through, is I would have felt like now that we're in it, I honestly probably would have felt like the kids would have just really gotten settled into a rhythm with school, and they would have been like, okay, we're pulling you out of school for 3 days for this trip. And that would have totally probably thrown them off. So it all works out. Man, there's like a couple of spots in here that these might get stuck, but that's okay. Like I said, that's kind of a thing with resin trays. A lot of people will just kind of use resin trays for, more for like sort of decoration or for special drills. Also, I bet that this would work better with square drills, because square drills are a little bit smaller than round drills are. That would probably make a difference. We're over halfway through the video and I have not switched. I haven't switched to my other tray. Let's do a little swap. We'll check out this tray. So what else is going on this week? So hopefully the haircut's going to happen. Ooh, things I've been watching / listening to and whatnot. So first, I started listening to the Supernatural podcast, which they started a podcast like a year ago. A couple of the recurring character actors on the show started a podcast last year, where they started back at the very beginning of the show and started rewatching it from the very beginning. And they have a podcast episode dedicated to each episode, and they talk a lot about like behind the scenes and stuff. And I originally thought it was going to be a lot more focused like on the episodes themselves. As it turns out, I listened to the first couple and I was like, oh wow, this is actually a lot more just about like what goes on like the production side, like what it looks like in the business and stuff like that. And so I was really enjoying that, because that kind of thing fascinates me, especially because my husband works in the industry too. And so I was talking with Adam a lot about it, and some really like interesting things. And I was like, actually, Adam, I think you might find this podcast really intriguing, and that you would enjoy it, because this is the kind of stuff that we talk about, like about all the things all the time. And he was like, well, actually, I was thinking I would go ahead and start the show itself. And I was like, are you for real right now? And he was like, yeah. So he like literally right now he's editing a project while he has Supernatural on in the background. It's like halfway through season 1, and I'm like, this is so fun, because Supernatural is one of my favorite TV shows, which is kind of hilarious because I don't like scary, creepy things, and especially the first few seasons of that show are not my cup of tea really, like, at all. But I really enjoy the characters. Like, it's a lot more of like a character-driven story and stuff like that. And I went to a convention for this show last year or early this year that was so much fun. It's just really fun, and it's like the cast and crew is just a really fun group. Like, it's really almost like a family dynamic, so it's just a really fun thing. And to have Adam like watching the show and like talking to me about it, like things he's like enjoying or things that are like ridiculous about, you know, some of these really early episodes and stuff. It's really fun because it's like there's this thing that I really enjoy and love, and now it's another thing that I get to talk with him about. So that's been really fun. I don't know if he hasn't started listening to the podcast or anything yet, but I've been rotating through listening to podcasts. I just finally started the 3rd book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I've also been watching Cobra Kai because they just dropped a new season. And I have just like 2.5 episodes left. I don't think I'll quite finish it after I'm done filming this WIP and Chat, but I'll try to watch some more of that tonight. And, I haven't been watching a ton of YouTube, which I feel really bad about because I really, really try to support my fellow creators, at least by watching, even if I'm not like the best at leaving comments and stuff. But I don't know. I'm so fickle about like what I'm in the mood for. And if I try to force myself to like watch or listen to something that I don't enjoy, then I just get annoyed. So like, it'll be fine. I'll be in the mood to like watch YouTube videos again soon, I'm sure. So yeah, I am doing an okay job. Just okay. And I shouldn't say it because now I'm just gonna jinx myself. I'm doing an okay job of trying to stay up to date on responding and hearting like comments on YouTube. Like I've done a decent job of it with a few of my recent videos. And I'm trying to stay somewhat on top of messages and stuff. I'm really, really trying not to fall behind, but invariably I do just because I'm human. But I'm really trying to find a rhythm, especially with the kids being back in school. It's like I can find productive ways to kind of structure my days to make stuff happen. So look, we got some of these swirls happening. I was like, I just want to get at least a few diamonds placed there before this video has to end. Coming up this week video wise, so I feel like I am a tiny bit locked into something of a schedule during Drills and Chills, where I am going to do my weekly Drills and Chills videos on Thursdays. I've committed to, that's what I have in my head. I'm sure if I had to bump it, it would be fine. But with having a weekly video for Drills and Chills, that's one less video a week that I can do like for something else. And so I try to take 2 days off from videos a week. I tend to, that's just the rhythm I find myself in right now, is that I seem to be putting up 5 videos a week. I usually take off Tuesday or Wednesday. It's usually Wednesday. And then I usually take off Saturday or Sunday. So with only 2 days a week to do like completely like more random or at the moment kind of content, I almost feel like, some weeks it might be nice to be able to do 6 videos a week, because I do WIP and Chats on Mondays. I'm going to have the Drills and Chills videos on Thursdays, Diamond Art Club sneak peeks on Fridays. So I just have like my weekend video and then my other, like my Tuesday video or Tuesday or Wednesday video. So I don't know. I have a lot of things that I like, a lot of content that I really badly want to put out. Like I'm dying to make that converting a cover, an enamel pin into a cover minder video for you guys. I have a lot of unboxings I need to get through. And I only have more on the way, so that doesn't stop. I really want to be able to do post reviews on completed kits. So I don't know. I just am trying to be strategic, and I don't want to burn myself out, but I don't want to have to like, I don't know, give up content that like I actually really want to put up. So if I have the margin, then maybe there may be some weeks that I have 6 videos a week, but that just sounds like a lot. But yeah, I've had a lot of people asking, like a lot, and this has always been a regular kind of question and comment, but I've had a lot more people asking lately about how I store my completed canvases since I don't display them in my home. And so I feel like I should, like, I don't feel like I should. I want to do a video on how I store my completed canvases. And I kind of want to play around with some different options out there. I was just chatting with Lindsay at Emeralds and Fairy Lights about this and sending her a couple of things. Because she also completes canvases very quickly as well. And we just generally have a lot in common. Our brains work the same way. And our content, I feel like, has a similar vibe and is really similar, and not like in a bad way. I love her content and I love her as a person. But I was chatting with her and floating some ideas by her, and she was sharing some things. She's actually been thinking a lot of similar things, so that's really fun. You'll hopefully, yeah, see some good stuff soon. But yeah, I have a post review coming your guys' way this week, and hopefully some good content. I already have in mind what I think my topic will be for drills and chills for this Thursday for week 2, and you'll just have to wait and see what that is. Or you can hop over to my Patreon, which I know, a shameless plug here because we're still kind of towards the beginning of the month. And Patreon is a monthly subscription service, and they charge you on the first of the month. In addition to, like, if you sign up in the, in the middle of it, like if you signed up today, it would charge you today, and that would charge you on the 1st of October. But if you enjoy my content, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this WIP and Chat here, you might enjoy Patreon as well. Like I said, it's a subscription service to a lot of different creators have them. I put up weekly updates where I kind of just give general updates, like on my family, on my life, and I also put up the schedule of videos for the week, and I try to include like what the different topics are going to be in a tiny bit more detail as well, so they get to know what's coming and kind of what's on my mind. They get to help me vote sometimes on like what my next project is going to be and give me feedback on content and stuff like that. And then if you, depending on what tiers you go with, because I do have different tiers with different perks and rewards, I do a weekly vlog where you get to see a whole lot of my face. Very, very filter-free, very just authentic, like as authentic as possible, which I try to give you guys here as well. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't feel comfortable sharing on a completely public platform like this. Like, you'll never really see pictures of my children on public platforms. And yeah, so you just kind of get to see a lot more behind the scenes and that sort of thing. And like I said, a lot more unfiltered in those vlogs. And then the top tier gets a monthly exclusive live with me. So even though I'm not able to do regular lives like publicly just on my regular channel, my Patreons do get a dedicated monthly live with me, and it's nice because there's usually not a ton of people in there. I can interact and chat with every single person in the chat. I feel like I've gotten to know people well, and it's fun. It's a good community. I know this was a really, really long little commercial that I just did for my Patreon here at the end. I hope that did not completely turn any of you off. You still get hopefully tons of really good content from me here publicly, and hopefully still get to have some really fun insight into my life and whatnot. But for those of you that might want a little bit more, you're welcome to check that out. I'll have it linked below, but please, you guys, don't feel obligated at all. I just wanted to let you guys know because some people don't know that it's there. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go because we're at about the hour mark. So if you made it all the way to the end, how about some kind of astronomical emoji in your comment, whether it's like a star or a moon or something, because we're working on the kit Astronomical Witch. So just lets me know you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. I really enjoyed chatting with you and catching up. Let me know how you're doing down in the comments and what you're up to this week. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health. Reminder to go drink your water, take your meds, take your vitamins, and Get some sunshine, or if you're like me, get some lack of sunshine, so that whatever makes you feel energized and good. So I'm going to let you guys go. If you're not already subscribed, feel free to go ahead and subscribe, and you can hit the bell to be notified when I'm sharing new videos. I just stumbled over my words. That's fine. All right, you guys, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.